Welcome along, footy tippers, to our look at AFL Round 22. Russ Barwick alongside Marc, Dragicevic, and Draga only a couple of weeks ago. But how important, particularly for a couple of these teams fighting for, well, for egos and positional spaces in the top four particularly, is these next 2 weeks?
Oh, it's extremely important. It's pretty much been worked out now, the top four and the bottom four. So they're just vying.
We just don't know the order yet.
Home finals, pretty much.
Correct.
And, there's obviously some very important games, including the Swans games coming up.
Yeah, and we kick it off with Collingwood taking on the West Coast Eagles Friday night at the MCG, and Travis Cloke still in the hunt for the Coleman medal. Can you see an upset on the cards, especially given what the West Coast dished up last week?
Oh, it was so disappointing to watch that game. They were actually insipid, especially that first half. Collingwood is... much as they lost by 6 goals, their pressure acts were actually up there like they were in the previous 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Hawthorn were just too good. West Coast won't be. I reckon Collingwood.
Yeah, Collingwood for me as well. Adelaide will be too good for Melbourne at Amy's Stadium on Saturday. North take on Hawthorn. Dangerous game for Hawthorn because North tend to fire up, particularly at Etihad.
At Etihad, that's their favourite ground. They play a good brand of footy there. No, Hawthorn, you can just see they're just timing their run perfectly, I think, this year. Last year, they sensed that they ran out a bit of legs. I think they've got it right, and they'll beat the Kangaroos. What
about the important game of the weekend? The Cats taking on the Swans, Simmons Stadium. Yep. They have had success there previously, Sydney, emotional times, but after last week, I would have thought that Geelong are just where Chris Scott absolutely wants them to be.
Exactly where he wants them to be. Battle of the midfields. It's going to be so good to watch this game, especially if there's a little bit of rain. It'll be like hard and tough finals football. If anyone can go down there, the Swans can go down there. I don't think they'll get it done. No. Joel Selwood's taken his game to a new level now, kicking goals. I think he's kicked 15 or 14 in the last 5 weeks, so that's important for them. I
think you're 100% right there. Saturday night, well, Carlton should beat Essendon the way the Bombers are playing at the moment.
Oh, the Bombers get back Hurley. Ryder, I think, will be back, so it makes a little bit of a difference. But, yeah, they've just completely dropped off. It's going to be interesting to see the worst form side heading into finals.
What about Fremantle and Port Adelaide? This is interesting. The Dockers can still squeeze that second position if the numbers go their way.
I think they actually will. Sandilands will be out again, so they've got to get used to playing without him, but I think they can cover that. The Dockers for mine.
St Kilda, Gold Coast. I'm tipping Gold Coast.
Your favourite team? Yeah, I'm going to tip the Gold Coast. They actually played pretty well last week. They got overrun.
If your blokes rest Cochin and rest Jack Riewoldt, I'm tipping the Giants to knock you off.
We don't have the right to be resting anyone right now. They've got to go and have a good win, get some confidence, and get us supporters back on board.
And Brisbane take on the Bulldogs of the Gabba, and both teams are going okay at the moment. Bulldogs probably the form team of the competition.
Unbelievable turnaround. I reckon about 8 weeks ago we were just laughing off their games, going straight through them, but they're playing a really, really good hard brand of footy. The Lions have got a lot to play for in terms of their personnel next year, so there's some players there to be keen to be playing well in front of the new coach. I actually like the Bulldogs. I can't get off them. They're playing
okay, well, let's have a look at Draga's tips on screen. As you can see, Collingwood on Friday night. Adelaide, of course. Hawthorn too good for North. Geelong to beat Sydney. Carlton over Essendon. Fremantle, despite not having Sandilands, to beat Port Adelaide. And then on Sunday, in St Kilda versus the Gold Coast. Gold Coast to beat that one. Richmond, of course, to beat the Giants. And then the Bulldogs to beat the Brisbane Lions. Don't forget to check out Centrebet.com for all the latest and greatest odds. And, of course, we will check you next week for more footy tips on the AFL.